I wasn't trying to stay too long, just passing time, just moving on. A quiet start, a simple day, nothing really calling me to stay. The light was soft, the air was still, a gentle space I couldn't feel. Not yet, at least, not fully there. Just something forming in the air. I let it be, I didn't mind. Thoughts were loose and undefined. Nothing sharp and nothing clear, just a calm that settled near. And something shifts, not all at once. A subtle pull, a quiet nudge. I lean a little closer in, without knowing where to begin. My hands move slow, then move again, like they're learning where I stand. Not too certain, not too sure, but a little more than before. Time slips softly out of place, losing track without a trace. Minutes fade without a sound, as something deeper gathers now. I don't notice when it grows, but I feel it in the flow, like a line that finds its shape without a move I have to make. There's a rhythm I can trust, not too strong and not too much, just enough to pull me through into something slightly new. I stop looking at the edge, stop questioning what comes next. Everything just starts to fit as I get more into it. There's no rush to make it right, no need to push or even try. It comes together on its own, like it's always been inside. The world is still around me here, but it slowly disappears. Not because it fades away, I just drift a little further, and even doubts feel far behind, like they've loosened from my mind. They don't reach me like before, they don't knock on any door. Every step becomes a line, every thought begins to bind into something I can see. Not completely, but enough for me. And I'm here without a plan, still I know just where I am. Not at the start, not at the end, just somewhere I can understand. It's not loud and not intense, just a growing confidence that I didn't try to find, but it slowly made me mine. I might leave it, I don't know, like the way these moments go, but for now let it stay and carry me a little way. Just a little more than before, just a little less unsure. Not too far and not too deep, just enough for me to keep. A little more into it, a little more without a name, a little more than just a start, but not enough to call it change. I'm close to something I can't hold, a quiet shift I almost know. It's right there at the edge of me, but not enough to fully see. The lines are starting to align and slipping just a bit behind, like I can feel the shape of it, but can't quite say where it begins. My hands move then hesitate, a step ahead, a step too late. It's almost there, it almost fits this space I'm slowly stepping in. There's a rhythm I can trace, not enough to set the pace. It comes and goes without a sign, then fades before it's truly mine. Time feels different, slightly off, not too slow and not too fast, like I'm between what's coming next and something that has just passed. I don't try to force it through, I know it won't respond to that. It needs a softer kind of move, a way of leaning slightly back. The noise is quieter than before, but not completely out of reach. It lingers just enough to pull my focus slightly out of place. Every thought begins to form, then loosens just before it stays, like it's testing where to land before it settles into place. There's a tension, but it's light, not enough to feel too tight. Just a sense that something's near, but hasn't fully settled here. I breathe a little slower now, let the moment stretch itself, not trying to arrive too soon, just letting it become itself. There's no rush to cross the line, no need to make it all connect. It's enough to stay right here in this almost, not quite yet. My mind is quiet but not still, still searching in a softer way, like it knows it's getting close but doesn't need to rush the way. Even time begins to bend, like it's waiting for the shift, holding space for something more, but hasn't fully arrived yet. And I stay inside this space where nothing's fully clear or done, but everything is leaning in toward a place I'll soon become. Almost there, but not just yet. Almost still, but not complete. Somewhere right before it clicks, where the flow and I will meet. The room is quiet, almost still, like it's waiting for something to begin. Light rests gently on the floor, then slowly shifts, then moves again. There's no thought I need to chase, nothing pulling me ahead, just a space that feels untouched. Somewhere just inside my head, I sit with nothing in my hands, no direction, no demand, letting everything just stay exactly as it is right now. The air is soft, it barely moves, carrying a distant sound, not enough to reach me here, just enough to float around. I don't try to make it start, I don't push it into place. There's a calm in letting go of the need to set the pace. Every second stretches out, like it's holding something back, not in tension, not in doubt, just a pause I don't unpack. There's a stillness in my chest, not too empty, not too full, like a quiet resting point where nothing needs to be controlled. Time is passing, I can feel, but it doesn't leave a trace. It just lingers in between, every breath and every space. The noise has settled far away, like it chose to step aside, leaving room for something else that hasn't fully arrived. Even thoughts feel slower now. They don't rise the way they did. They just hover soft and low, and they fade before they live. I don't need to understand what is coming or what stays. It's enough to feel this pause in its soft and steady way. The light begins to shift again, not a change I try to see, just a quiet kind of sign. Something's leaning into me. There's a line I almost feel, but I don't step over yet. I remain just where I am in this calm I won't forget. No beginning, no clear end, just a space before the move, like a breath I'm holding in before I let it through. And I stay inside the still, not because I have to be, but because it feels like where everything begins for me. The cup is warm between my hands, steam rising slow into the air. Morning light across the table finds me sitting quietly there. There's a softness in the sound, though conversations drifting by. Nothing loud enough to stay, just enough to pass me by. I take a breath, it settles in, like everything is slowing down. All the noise that filled my head doesn't seem to matter now. It's not gone, just out of reach, like it stepped a little back, making space for something new in the places that I lacked. The coffee tastes a little sweet, or maybe I just feel it more. Every sip becomes a pause, like I've been here once before. There's a clarity that comes, not too sharp and not too bright, just a quiet sense of shape forming gently in the light. I don't try to force a thought, I just let them come and stay. One by one they fall in line in a soft and simple way. Time is moving, I can tell, but it doesn't pull me through. It just lingers in the room, like a feeling I once knew. People come and people go, chairs move softly on the floor, doors open, close again, but I don't notice anymore. Something clicks without a sound, not a shift that I can see, just a sense that everything is exactly where it should be. My hands begin to move again, not too fast and not too slow, like they've always understood where the thoughts are meant to go. There's no pressure in this space, nothing waiting at the end, Even doubts feel lighter now. They don't stay the way they did. They just pass like passing rain, never asking to be fixed. The light is changing on the wall, shadows stretching out and thin. But I stay right where I am, letting everything begin. Or maybe it's already there, I just didn't see it clear. Till I sat and let it breathe and allowed it to appear. The last sip fades into the cup, still the feeling doesn't go. It remains without a name in a steady, quiet glow. And I don't need to chase it down or to hold it in my hands. It's enough to know it's here and to feel it as it stands. I'm floating somewhere in between, half awake, half out of reach. Nothing steady, nothing clear, just a quiet I can feel. Thoughts are drifting in the air, soft and scattered, going nowhere, like they're waiting to be found, but not asking to be bound. Time is moving, I can tell, but it doesn't pull me in. It just passes through my hands like a place I've never been. There's a rhythm, faint and low, barely there, but still I know something slowly pulling through, something turning into view. I don't push and I don't try, let it come and let it slide. There's a softness in the way everything begins to stay. Then it shifts but not too fast, not a break from what is past, just a quiet kind of turn, like a light I didn't learn. Every line begins to form, every thought begins to warm. Not too sharp and not too bright, just enough to feel it right. My hands move without a sound, finding paths I haven't found, like they knew it all along, where the pieces all belong. The noise fades into the back, doesn't pull me off the track, not because it disappears, I just stop to let it near. There's a space I've fallen to, not too far and not too new, somewhere steady, somewhere slow, where the quiet starts to grow. Time begins to change its pace, stretching out without a trace. Minutes soften into flow, moving where I need to go. There's no edge I need to reach, no direction I must keep, just a line I follow through, in a way that feels like truth. Even doubts begin to fade, not erased but gently laid, somewhere I don't have to see, somewhere they won't follow me. Everything begins to align in a soft and silent line, not because I made it so, but because I let it flow. And I'm here without a sound, in the place I almost found. Now it it feels like I belong, and the flow that's been here all along. I settle into where I am, no need to rush or understand. Everything is soft and still, but moving in a quiet will. There's a focus light and calm, resting gently in my palms. Not too tight and not too loose, just enough for me to use. I don't try to hold it close, I don't chase it as it goes. It just stays the way it is, in a steady kind of bliss. The world is there but far away, like it chose to dim and fade. Not because it disappeared, I just don't need it here. My breath is even slow and low, carrying me as I go. Not a rhythm I control, just a pace that feels like home. Every thought begins to land softly just within my hands. Not too sharp and not too clear, still enough to keep it near. There's no pressure in this state, nothing pushing me to create. It just comes without a sound, in the space that I have found. My hands move with quiet ease, following a gentle lead, like they've always known the way. Through the flow I'm in today. Time is passing but it stays somewhere just beyond my gaze. Not too close and not too far, like a slowly drifting star. Even silence feels complete, not a gap I need to meet, just a part of what I'm in, holding everything within. I don't need to reach ahead or go back to what I said. There's a balance in between, where my mind can simply lean. Nothing pulls me out of line, nothing rushes me through time. Everything just falls in place at a soft and steady pace. Even doubts feel lighter now, they don't stay, they don't know how. They just pass and fade away, like they were not meant to stay. I could stay like this for hours, let the time dissolve to now. There's a quiet kind of strength in the way I'm moving now. Gentle concentration stays in the most unspoken ways. Not a force, not a strain, just a calm I can remain. Somewhere in the middle now, not where I was, not where I'm going. There's a shape I almost know, but it keeps on slowly shifting. Every step feels just enough, like I'm moving without direction. Not lost but not quite found, somewhere in between intention. The lines are there but incomplete, they don't hold, they don't fall through, like a story paused keeps me in this place, right between the near and far. There's a rhythm I can trace, but it's never fully there, like it's hiding in the space between the quiet and the air. I can feel it in my hands, in the way they start to move. Not too certain, not too sure, still there's something to pursue. The world is still around me now, but it doesn't feel the same, like I stepped just out of line without stepping out of frame. Heavy thought begins to form, then it loosens at the edge, like it doesn't wanna stay or to fully be expressed. There's a balance I can't name in the way it all unfolds. Not too fast and not too slow, just enough to keep me close. I don't look for what comes next, I don't turn to what has been. There's a space I'm standing in where I'm halfway into something. It's not quiet, not too loud, not too clear, not too blurred, just a feeling that exists without needing to be heard. Even doubt feels out of place, like it doesn't quite belong. It just passes through the air without staying for too long. I don't need to reach the end or to know what I will find. It's enough to feel this shift happening inside my mind, and I stay within this state, not too far and not too deep, letting everything unfold in a way I don't need to keep. Halfway into something now, not a start and not complete, just a quiet kind of place where uncertainty feels sweet. There's a rhythm I can feel, not too loud and not too clear. It moves slowly through the air, like it's always been right here. I don't try to hold it still, I don't try to speed it up. It just carries me along in a way that feels enough. Every step begins to fall into place without a sound. Nothing sharp to break the flow, nothing pulling me around. It repeats but not the same, just enough to keep me here, like a line that loops again but feels different when it's near. I can hear it in my breath, soft and even as it goes, not too deep and not too light, just a pace my body knows. Time is moving, I can tell, but it doesn't rush me through. It just lingers in between everything I used to do. There's a calm inside the sound, even when it's barely there, like a space that holds it all without asking me to care. I don't need to change a thing or to find another way. There's a comfort in the loop that keeps leading me to stay. Even thoughts begin to match the slow and steady kind of flow. They don't wander far away, they just come and gently go. Nothing feels too far ahead, nothing feels too far behind. Everything is where it is in this quiet state of mind. I don't notice when it starts or when it begins again. It just circles back around like it never really ends. There's no edge I need to reach, no direction I must take, just a rhythm I can trust that doesn't bend or break. Even silence feels the same, part of something soft and low. Not a break and not a pause, just another way it flows. I could stay inside this loop, let it carry me a while. Not because I have to be, just because it feels worthwhile. And I don't need anything more than what is here right now. And this rhythm's soft and clear that I never question how. The day begins without a sound, light slowly fills the empty room. Nothing waiting to be done, still it feels like something's new. I don't rush to make it clear, don't need to know what comes ahead. There's a space I've stepped into where nothing has been said. Every moment feels so wide, like it's opening for me. Not a path I have to take, just a way I get to be. I'm not there, but I'm not far, somewhere in between the start, where the air is still untouched and the quiet feels like art. There's a softness in the air, like a breath before a word. Nothing formed and nothing said, still I feel it's all been heard. My hands rest without a plan, and they move without a push. Not too careful, not too fast, just enough to feel the hush. Time is stretching out a bit, like it's giving me some space. Not to finish, not to chase, just to move at my own pace. There's no pressure in this place, no need to get it right. It's enough to take it slow, let it settle in the light. I can feel something begin, not too loud and not too clear, just a quiet kind of shift that tells me I am here. Every thought arrives with ease, then it leaves without a trace. Nothing asking me to hold, nothing I need to replace. I don't look for something more, I don't try to make it last. it's waiting in between every breath and every step, every place I've never seen. There's no end I need to reach, no direction I must choose. It's enough to stand right here with nothing left to lose. And I know it's just the start, not a finish, not a part, just a moment soft and clear where everything can appear. Just getting started now, nothing fixed and nothing bound, just a quiet open space where I slowly find my place. Light comes in without a sound, slipping softly through the frame, falling gently on the floor like it doesn't need a name. It moves slowly on the wall, stretching out across the day, never asking where to go, just finding its own way. I'm sitting in between it all, half awake and half aware, letting every moment pass like it's lighter in the air. There's a calm I didn't plan in the way the light arrives, not too bright and not too clear, still it quietly survives. Dust is floating in the glow, turning slowly in the beam, like a quiet kind of motion you would miss if you don't see. I don't try to follow it, don't need to understand. There's a comfort in the way it settles where I am. Every second shifts a bit in the way the shadows fall. Nothing stays the way it was, still it feels the same through all. Time is moving through the light, not too fast and not too slow, just enough to let me stay in a place I've come to know. There's no need to chase a thought or to make the moment clear. It's enough to sit right here while the light is passing near. My hands rest and gently move, not because I have to try, but because it feels like now is the right time to reply. Even silence feels warm, held inside the quiet space, like the light has filled it in without leaving any trace. I don't notice when it shifts from the floor to somewhere new, but I feel it in the room and the way it settles through. There's a rhythm in the change, soft enough to go unseen, like the day is breathing slow through the space that lies between. Nothing sudden, nothing loud, just a steady kind of glow that reminds me where I am without needing me to know. And I stay within this light, not too close and not too far, letting everything align just the way things are. Light comes in without a sound, still it stays somehow with me in the quiet. in the way I come to be. It started out without a shape, just scattered thoughts I couldn't place, fading in and out of view like they didn't want to stay. Nothing held together yet, nothing clear enough to see, just a quiet sense of something waiting somewhere inside me. I didn't try to force it out, didn't pull it into line, let it drift the way it would somewhere in the back of my mind. Then slowly, almost unaware, something shifts beneath the haze, like a pattern starts to show through the blur that used to stay. Every piece begins to lean toward a place it seems to know, not by will or urgency, just a gentle kind of flow. Lines begin to form at last, not too sharp and not too strong, but enough to guide the way as I slowly move along. There's a quiet kind of sense in the way it starts to fit, not a sudden clarity, just the shape of something lit. I can feel it in my hands, in the way they start to move, like they found a softer path they were always meant to choose. Nothing needs to be explained, nothing needs to be complete, it's enough to see it grow in a rhythm soft and deep. Even time begins to shift, not as scattered as before. Each moment finds its place, like it's part of something more. I don't question where it leads or how far it's meant to go. There's a comfort in the shape, even if I don't fully know. The noise fades into the back, doesn't reach me like it did. There's a space that holds it all in a calm I didn't expect. Every line connects with ease, not because I made it so, but it found its way through me in a steady, quiet flow. There's no rush to make it right, no need to complete the frame. It's enough that I can see something forming all the same, and I stay within this state, not too far and not too near, watching something take its place without needing it to be clear. Lines begin to form at last, softly drawn without a sound. Not a finish, not a start, just a shape that I have found. There's a rhythm in the air, soft enough to barely hear, like it's always been right there. Wait until I settled here. Nothing pulls me out of place, nothing rushes through my mind. Every thought begins to stay in a steady, quiet line. I don't notice when it starts, there's no moment I can name. It just gathers piece by piece till everything feels the same. Not the same in emptiness, but the same in how it moves, like a current running low, carrying me through. Every second feels aligned, nothing missing, nothing more. Like I've stepped into a space I've been close to before. There's no need to speed it up, no desire to slow it down. It just moves the way it does without asking how. My hands follow something soft, something I don't have to chase. Like the motion's always known how to find its place. I can feel it in my breath, even calm and unaware. Not too deep and not too light, just enough to keep me there. The world is still around me now, but it doesn't feel the same. Like it's softened at the edge or stepping out of frame. Sounds come in and drift away, never staying long enough to disturb this gentle state or to make it rough. There's a quiet in between every line and every thought, where the silence holds it all without needing to be caught. I don't try to understand where this feeling comes from. It's enough to let it stay like a low and steady hum. Time is moving, I can tell, but it doesn't feel as fast. Like it's stretching out a bit just to help this moment last. There's no pressure in this space, nothing waiting at the end. Just a path that keeps on going without needing to bend. Even doubts feel far away, like they're fading into light. They don't reach me like before, they just pass me by. Everything feels close and clear, but not sharp enough to break. Like a surface smooth and still without a single shake. If I lose it, I don't mind. It was never mine to keep. Just a moment passing through, calm and quiet, soft and deep. But right now it's here with me, flowing like it always knew how to stay without a sound, how to feel completely true. I let the noise fall far behind, set it down, don't try to fight. There's no rush in what I'm doing, just a quiet kind of time. The room is filled with gentle sounds, nothing sharp enough to stay. They just move around me softly, and they slowly drift away. I don't need to chase a thought, let it come or let it go. There's a space I've settled into, moving calm and moving slow. My mind is quiet, not asleep, just a little less awake. Like it's resting in between every choice I used to make. And my hands begin to move like they've always known the way. Not too fast and not too careful, just enough to let them stay. There's a rhythm I can feel, not a beat but something close, like a line I'm gently following that I didn't even choose. Time is passing, I can tell, but it doesn't pull me in. It just lingers somewhere near me while I'm steady from within. I don't look for something more, I don't try to make it last. There's a comfort in the motion that I didn't know I had. Every movement feels the same in the best and quiet way. Nothing breaks the flow I'm in, nothing leads me far astray. Even doubts feel slower now, they don't echo like before. They just pass without a reason, like they're knocking on a door. The light is falling on the desk, soft and warm without a weight. I don't stop to really notice, still it shapes the way I stay. There's no tension in this space, no demand to understand, just a gentle kind of focus, slow mind, steady hands. Everything is where it is, nothing missing, nothing wrong. I don't need to rearrange it, I just move along, breathing even, calm and low, not too deep and not too light, just enough to keep me here in this steady state of mind. I could stay like this a while, let the hours pass me through. There's no pressure in this moment, just the things I need to do. And I don't need to be fast or to prove what I can make. There's a quiet in the pace that I never wanna break. Slow mind, steady hands, that's the way it settles in. Not a start and not an end, just a state I'm moving in. Everything is slightly blurred, edges fading out of view. Nothing sharp enough to hold, still it feels a little true. Light is falling through the air, softly bending as it goes, like it doesn't need a shape, just a warmth that slowly flows. I don't try to see it clear, I don't bring it into line. There's a comfort in the way it stays somewhere undefined. Thoughts are drifting in and out, never landing where they start, like a whisper passing through the quiet corners of my heart. There's no center I can find, nothing pulling me too far, just a space that gently holds everything the way they are. Time is moving but it fades into something hard to trace, not a moment I can keep, just a soft and open space. I can hear the distant sound, but it never stays too long. It dissolves before it forms, like a half-remembered song. Even silence feels warm, like it's resting in my chest. Not a pause I need to fill, just a place to simply rest. I don't reach for anything, don't need meaning in this state. There's a calm that comes from not trying to anticipate. Every line begins to blur, every shape begins to bend. Nothing really disappears, it just shifts without an end. There's a rhythm, low and slow, not a beat I have to follow, just emotion I can feel in the spaces left hollow. I could stay like this a while, in this quiet, softened light. Not too far and not too near, just somewhere between the lines. If I try to hold it tight, it would fade and fall apart. So I let it move like this, through the silence, through the dark. And I don't need to define what is real or what is not. There's a beauty in the blur, and forgetting what I thought. Everything is slightly blurred, still it feels enough for me. Not too clear and not too lost, just the way it's meant to be. I'm not thinking, not quite still. Something lingers, something will come and go without a sound, like it's lost but still around. There's a space I can't define, in between each passing line, where the words don't fully land, but I somehow understand. Every thought begins to fade before it's fully even made, like a shadow in the light, softly shifting out of sight. I don't try to hold it close, don't need to know it the most. It just floats and disappears, leaving nothing, leaving here. Time is moving, I can tell, but it doesn't ring a bell. No clear moment, no clear start, just a drifting state of heart. There's a calm I didn't choose, nothing there to win or lose, just a feeling passing through, halfway real and halfway true. The world feels a little far, like I'm watching where things are, not inside but not outside, somewhere in the in-between side. Sounds are softer than before, they don't reach me anymore. Maybe I just let them go before they even start to grow. Light is falling through the air, but I don't see it as it is, just a blur of something warm that I feel but never miss. Every second slips away without asking me to stay or to follow where it leads. needs, it just moves the way it needs. I don't need to understand what is leaving or what stands. There's a comfort in this place where I don't have to give a name. Thoughts are passing one by one, never staying, never done. Like a current flowing low, taking me where I don't know. There's no center I can find, nothing holding to my mind. Still I'm somehow in this space, floating without leaving trace. Even silence feels unclear, like it's close but not quite here. Something soft but undefined, living somewhere in my mind. If I try to look too deep, it dissolves and falls asleep. So I leave it as it goes, like a feeling no one knows. I could stay like this for a while, in this half-formed quiet style. Not complete but not undone, somewhere neither lost nor found. And maybe that is all it is, not a thought and not a wish, just a place I pass right through, somewhere between me and you. I was sitting with a restless mind, thoughts were scattered, hard to find. Every line just slipped away, nothing seemed to want to stay. The room was quiet, almost still, but I couldn't feel it yet. Something heavy in the air, like a thought I didn't get. I try to follow every thread, pull it closer, make it clear. But the more I try to see, the more it disappeared. Time kept moving, unaware of the weight I couldn't shake. Every second felt the same, like a step I couldn't take. Then it happened, soft and small, not a sound, not even a sign. Something shifts without a call, somehow everything aligns. It's not loud, it doesn't break through the silence all at once. It just settles into place, like it's always been enough. Every piece begins to fit, not because I forced it through, but it found its way somehow into something I can use. My hands move without a doubt, like they finally understand. What was missing all this time was never out of hand. There's a clarity that grows, not too sharp and not too bright, just enough to let me see what was hiding in plain sight. I don't question where it came or how long it's gonna stay. I just let it carry on like it knows the way. Even time begins to bend, slowing down without a trace. Minutes falling out of view in this steady, quiet pace. There's no pressure in this state, nothing pushing from behind, just a calm and open space somewhere deep inside my mind. Doubts don't feel the same as before, they don't echo quite as loud. They just pass like passing clouds, never staying in a crowd. Everything feels close and clear, like it's right where it should be. Not because I made it so, but because it came to me. And I stay within this flow, not too fast and not too slow, holding nothing, chasing none, letting everything just run. true. And I won't try to hold it tight or to make it something more. It's enough that it arrived like it never had before. Just a moment, soft and quick, but I know it when it hits. Not a spark, not even a sound, just the moment that it clicks. I'm thinking, but not too hard, letting every thought just pass. Nothing I need to figure out, nothing I need to make it last. It comes and goes so quietly, like it never meant to stay. Just a gentle kind of motion in the middle of the day. I don't follow every line, I don't chase it to the end. If it fades before I know, I just let it drift again. There's a softness in the way everything begins to feel. Not too distant, not too close, somewhere calm and somewhere real. I can hear the world outside, but it doesn't reach me here. Like a sound behind a wall that slowly disappears. Time is moving, I can tell, but I'm not keeping track. It just flows around me now without asking anything back. There's no pressure in this space, no need to get it right. I just sit with what I have in the soft and quiet light. Even thoughts that almost stay slip away before they form, like they don't need to be held or to take a steady form. I don't question where they go or the meaning they might bring. There's a comfort in not knowing everything. My hands move without a plan, just enough to feel it through. Not too focused, not too loose, just the middle I fall into. There's a rhythm in the pause between what I think and do. Not a gap I need to fill, just a space that feels true. Even silence feels complete, like there's nothing missing here. Nothing waiting to be found, nothing I need to make appear. I could stay like this a while, letting moments come and go. Not too fast and not too slow, just enough to let it flow. And I'm thinking, but not too hard, letting everything be light. Not a question, not a plan, just a moment passing by. Doesn't look that different now. The same desk, the same old chair. Nothing changed on the outside, still I feel it somewhere there. Not a shift I can't explain, not a line I clearly crossed, just a quiet sense of moving without needing what I lost. I'm not faster than before, not more certain, not more sure, but there's something in the way I don't hesitate as much anymore. Every step is small and light, barely leaving any trace. Still I feel it adding up in a slow and steady there's a difference in the air. Not too strong, but still it's there. Like a weight I didn't see, it's no longer anywhere. I don't question every move, I don't stop before I try. There's a softness in my doubt that just lets it pass me by. Time is moving as it does, but it doesn't feel the same. It's not something I chase down, or something I need to name. There's a rhythm I can trust, even if I don't know why. It just carries me along without asking me to try. The lines are clearer than before, but not sharp enough to break, just enough to guide me through every step I choose to take. I don't need to reach the end or to prove that I have grown. There's a calm in letting go of the need to make it known. Even silence feels more full, like it's holding something real. Not because it's loud or strong, but because I finally feel there's no rush to look ahead. No need to go back in time, I'm right here just where I am, and for once it feels aligned. I don't notice when it came, or the moment it began. It just slowly made its way into everything I am. And I think I'll stay like this, not too far and not too deep, letting everything unfold in a way I get to keep. This feels like progress now, even if it's hard to see. Not a change the world would know, but it's clear enough to me. The sound of cups and quiet talk fades into a distant blur. Light falls softly on the desk like it knows just where you are. You were drifting for a while, thoughts were scattered out of line. Nothing really seemed to land, everything just passed you by. Then it changes, not too fast. Something settles deep inside, like a rhythm you can feel, but you never try to find. There's a stillness in the noise, like the world just steps aside. Every little thing aligns when the focus kicks in right. Your hands begin to move with ease, like they've always known the way. No more second guessing now, just a steady kind of pace. Time is bending, stretching out, minutes slipping out of you. You don't notice anything except the thing in front of you. There's a quiet in your chest, not the kind that feels too still, but the one that holds you up, gives your thoughts a place to fill. No more looking left or right, no more thinking what to do. Everything just starts to flow, like it's always been in you. The world is there but far away, like a scene behind a glass. You can hear it if you try, but it never seems to last. Light is shifting through the room, slowly changing with the day, but you don't look up to see. You just let it fade away. Every line begins to form, every thought begins to stay. Not because you forced it through, but it found its natural way. There's no pressure in this state, no need to rush or prove a thing. It's the calm before the rise, when the focus settles in. Even doubts don't feel as loud, they just pass and drift away, like a sound you barely hear at the end of a long day. And you stay within this space, not too tight and not too loose, just enough to keep it real, just enough to let it move. Time will bring you back again to the noise you left behind, but for now it's quiet here in the center of your mind. The noise was louder just before, a restless echo in my head. Every sound was pulling me in directions I misread. Voices tangled in the air, thoughts that never seemed to land. Everything was moving fast, slipping out of my own hands. I didn't know where to begin or how to slow it all down. Just a constant hum beneath every step I walked around. Then it softens, almost gone, not all at once, not all the way. Like a wave that pulls back slow, leaving silence where it stayed. There's a space I start to feel, where the noise begins to fade. Not a place I had to find, just one that quietly stayed. Sounds are still around me now, but they don't reach quite the same. Like they're distant, out of frame, or forgetting how to stay. My breath returns to something calm, not too deep and not too light, just enough to bring me back into this softer kind of sight. I don't follow every sound, I don't turn to see what's there. It just moves without a mark through the edges of the air. Every thought that once was loud now arrives without a push. It doesn't ask me to respond, it just fades into the hush. There's no pressure in this shift, no need to understand. What was heavy falls away, like it was never in my hands. Time begins to feel more still, even as it moves along, like it's letting me remain in a place where I belong. The world is still beyond this space, I know it hasn't gone, but here it feels a little less like something I depend on. There's a quiet I can trust, not too empty, not too just a balance in between that feels steady, feels whole. Even silence has a tone, soft and low and barely there. Not a break, not an escape, just a presence in the air. I don't try to bring it back, all the noise I left behind. There's no need to fill this space or to rearrange my mind. I can stay here for a while, let it hold me where I am, in this place without a sound, where I don't have to pretend, where the noise begins to fade, something real begins to stay. Not too bright